Imagine a world where marriage isn't just about love but also about money. Sounds shocking, right? Where a young girl's future is decided not by her dreams but by her price tag. Today we're diving into the unsettling reality of 10 countries where girls are paid for marriage. We'll journey across continents, uncovering ancient traditions and modern pressures that perpetuate this system. Stay with us, because what you're about to hear will leave you speechless. Our journey begins in country A, where marriage takes on a transactional twist. Here, it's not just about two people uniting, it's about families negotiating dowries, often hefty sums of money or assets, that the bride's family pays to the groom's. Imagine the pressure on parents, especially those with multiple daughters, to gather these dowries. They sacrifice everything, their savings, their land, sometimes even their homes, just to ensure their daughters' futures. But what about the girls themselves? Their voices often silenced, their dreams often sidelined. They're told this is tradition, this is how it's always been done. These dowries can trap families in a cycle of debt, forcing them to make impossible choices. And in some cases, if the dowry isn't deemed sufficient, the consequences can be dire, leading to violence, abuse, and even death. But wait until you hear about country B, where the practice takes an even darker turn. Here, it's not just about dowries, it's about an actual bride price. A literal sum of money or goods paid to the bride's family in exchange for her hand in marriage. Imagine being treated like property, your worth measured in livestock or land. Often these girls are married off young, their education cut short, their dreams shattered. They're thrust into adulthood, expected to bear children and care for households, their own aspirations relegated to the back burner. Child marriage perpetuates the cycle of poverty, denies girls access to education and opportunities, and increases their vulnerability to abuse and exploitation. Entire communities are held back when half their population is denied the chance to thrive. So, we have to ask ourselves, in the 21st century, can we justify a system that commodifies human beings? And if you think that's surprising, just wait until we get to country C, where the bride price tradition takes on a global twist. Here, it's not just local men seeking brides, but foreign suitors, often from more developed nations, who are willing to pay a premium for a wife. Imagine the allure. For some, it's the promise of a traditional bride, someone submissive, obedient, and eager to please. For others, it's the ease with which they can bypass the complexities of dating and marriage in their own cultures. But let's call this what it is: a form of modern-day mail-order bride phenomenon, fueled by economic disparities and a disturbing power imbalance. These women are often viewed as exotic commodities, their cultural nuances misunderstood, their voices lost in translation. Money often flows through intermediaries, leaving the women vulnerable to exploitation and abuse. This isn't about love, it's about a transactional exchange, a business deal disguised as a romantic pursuit. Chapter 4, Country D, where silence speaks volumes. Can you believe this still happens in Country D, where the bride price tradition is so deeply ingrained that it's often seen as an integral part of the social fabric? Here, questioning the practice is taboo, and speaking out against it can have serious consequences. Imagine the pressure to conform, the fear of being ostracized by your community, your family, even your own friends. In Country D, silence speaks volumes. It whispers of acceptance, of resignation, of the weight of tradition bearing down on generations. But even in the quietest corners, there are murmurs of dissent. Young people, armed with education and exposure to the outside world, are starting to question the status quo. They're seeing the harm, the injustice, the limitations this tradition places on women. But change is slow, and it comes with risks. Chapter 5, Country E, where hope ignites change. Halfway through, and the stories only get more intense in Country E, where the fight against bride price is gaining momentum. Here, activists, educators, and community leaders are working tirelessly to change hearts and minds, to challenge the deeply ingrained belief that a woman's worth can be measured in money or goods. Imagine the courage it takes to stand up against centuries of tradition, to challenge the very fabric of your society. These individuals are true heroes, risking their reputations, their livelihoods, and even their safety to create a better future for girls and women. They're organizing workshops, educating families about the harmful effects of bride price, and empowering girls with knowledge and skills. They're advocating for legal reforms, pushing for policies that protect women's rights and promote gender equality. And slowly, change is happening. Chapter 6. Country F, where tradition clashes with modernity. You won't believe what happens in Country F, where the bride price tradition is caught in a tug-of-war between tradition and modernity. Here, rapid urbanization, globalization, and exposure to new ideas are challenging age-old customs, creating a fascinating social dynamic. Imagine the tension between generations, the clash of values as younger people influenced by the outside world question the relevance of bride price in a rapidly changing society. They're exposed to different ways of life, to societies where love and consent form the foundation of marriage, not financial transactions. Meanwhile, older generations cling to tradition, viewing bride price as a symbol of respect, a way to honor the bride's family, and a vital part of their cultural heritage. This clash of perspectives is playing out in homes, in community centers, and even in the halls of government. It's a delicate balancing act, navigating the need to preserve cultural identity while also embracing progress and equality. Chapter 7. This next one will make you question everything about Country G, where the bride price tradition has gone digital. Yes, you heard that right. In the age of online dating, mobile payments, and social media, even ancient customs are adapting to the digital landscape. Imagine scrolling through potential brides on your phone, comparing their dowries with a few swipes and taps. It sounds unbelievable, but in Country G, it's becoming increasingly common. Websites and apps now facilitate these transactions, connecting families and negotiating bride prices with the efficiency of an e-commerce platform. While some argue that this modern twist makes the process more transparent and accessible, others worry that it further commodifies women, reducing them to profiles and price tags on a screen. Chapter 8, Country H, where men say I do to change. And now, for one of the most shocking revelations in Country H, where a growing movement of men is taking a stand against bride price. Yes, you heard that right. Men, recognizing the inherent inequality and harm inflicted by this tradition, are raising their voices and demanding change. Imagine the impact of men challenging a system that has long benefited them, a system that grants them social standing and control over women through financial transactions. These men are allies, advocates, and agents of change working alongside women to dismantle a practice that has perpetuated gender inequality for far too long. They're speaking out in their communities, challenging traditional gender roles, and promoting the idea that marriage should be based on love, respect, and equality, not financial negotiations. Chapter 9. Country 1, where education is the antidote. As we near the end, the stakes get even higher in Country 1, where education is emerging as a powerful antidote to the bride price tradition. Here, communities are recognizing that empowering girls with knowledge and skills is the key to breaking the cycle of poverty, early marriage, and gender inequality. Imagine a generation of girls armed with education, equipped to make their own choices, to pursue their dreams, and to demand their rights. They're challenging the status quo, questioning traditional norms, and envisioning a future where their worth is determined not by their dowry, but by their intellect, their skills, and their contributions to society. Schools are becoming spaces of hope, places where girls can access opportunities, develop their talents, and forge a path towards a brighter future. Chapter 10, Country J, where silence no longer reigns. And finally, the country that will leave you utterly speechless. Country J, where a groundbreaking legal victory has sent shockwaves through the nation and ignited a ripple effect across the globe. After years of tireless campaigning by activists, lawyers, and human rights organizations, the highest court in the land has declared the bride price tradition unconstitutional, ruling that it violates women's fundamental rights to equality, dignity, and freedom from exploitation. Imagine the wave of emotion that swept through the country as the news spread like wildfire. For years, the voices of countless women and girls had been silenced, their pleas for justice ignored, their dreams crushed under the weight of this archaic tradition. But in that moment, justice prevailed, and a new era of hope dawned. Outro: breaking the chains, our collective responsibility. If this video opened your eyes, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Let's spread awareness about these shocking practices and amplify the voices of those fighting for change. Every like, every share, every comment helps to shed light on these hidden truths and sparks a conversation that can lead to real, lasting change. We've journeyed across continents, witnessing both the heartbreaking realities and the inspiring stories of resistance and resilience. We've seen the devastating impact of bride price on individuals, families, and entire communities. But we've also witnessed the unwavering determination of those who refuse to accept the status quo, who are fighting for a world where every girl is valued for who she is, not for what she's worth.